Hello, my name is Brandon Finero from Black Vanguard Hearts. This is our final build sprint review. So here I have the build up on Perforce, and I already downloaded a version to it onto my desktop, so I'm going to launch from here. And real quick, while that is loading, I'm going to go over some things in my Jira tasks. So a lot of my tasks were targeted around the player character and the enemy characters, which involved animations, mapping the character new rigs, and also just quality of life changes and bug fixes. So I think the most notable one early on that you can see is your grayed out abilities, which is when you have not enough mana to use an ability, it will toggle it as a darkened texture over the main color, so you can see that you don't have enough to use it. Um, this one is probably another one you'll notice immediately, which is the armor asset that I used from the artists. Originally, our character was supposed to be directly imported, but we had a major issue with that. So I had to take the rig, texture it, and my artist cut up the original armor pieces and sent it to me individually, and I socketed them onto the character. And I think it turned out pretty well, which I'm proud of. And as you can see in the corner, the abilities are grayed out. So you can only cast the fireball right now, but I'm going to demonstrate that as if I was playing in the tutorial for the very first time. So you start walking your WASD. As you move along, you see it says press shift to engage sprint. And I'm displaying this because this is one of my tasks, which is the introduction area, basically the tutorial, which is this level right here. And this involves the shooting tutorials, orbs, ammo, and jumping, which is the primary mechanics used throughout the game. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So in the tutorial, you walk in, go through a hallway, shows you how to use the sprinting, which is the shift. The sign demonstrates that your R button is to reload, and also your main firing mode is left mouse button, and your secondary firing mode is right mouse button. And in the corner right here, you have an ammo locker, which is one of the ammo pickups for the game, and is the only way you can recover your ammo, and these can drop from enemies or those lockers. You press R to reload. And another one of my tasks was to fix the flow between the firing modes. So the firing modes between the two of them is left mouse and right mouse. So you can use one. Oops, this is the part of the UI for the abilities. It tells you how to use them and what they look like: red, blue, yellow. So as you can see, the firing of the assault rifle is mostly long range. But then you also have a shotgun, which is for close range. And it's important that I wrote down on the list to hold down the button, because if you try to just tap it, it'll be more janky and kind of realistic in the sense that you can't just bump fire shotguns very easily. And right here is another sign that says press space key twice to double jump. Get your first orb. This is what implements the orb pickup mechanic from the beginning. So you get your orb, come to a door opens up, and you see another orb up here. And just to clarify, this orb is the one that opens the door upstairs. Double jump again. Another ammo locker just for target practice if you want to have the extra ammo. And then here's your first two major enemies. But for the sake of the next task, I'm going to jump up here for a quick second. And after showing the firing modes, the references for the damage and health. So our enemies have different damage values. The tanks are the biggest, so they hit the hardest. The other enemies, like the child zombies, are smaller, so they hit the quickest, but they also do the least amount of damage. And I managed to get all those hooked up so they do all those respectable damages, depending on what they are. And for the visuals, and I will show what happens. So I don't have a visual effect, but I do have a sound effect when I change my ability. So I changed it to ice, lightning, and this is fireball. And as one of my other tasks was up here, was the ability updating. So this was basically changing how the abilities work and fixing how they look, because some of them didn't even have any animations. So for the animations, I had a lot of things like making sure that things had priority. So this is one of the ones where casting stops your shooting. So if you're shooting and you use your ability, it'll throw the ability and stop your shooting. So it'll be either one or the other, but it prioritizes the shooting. The ability of the shooting. So that was your fireball. Next is the ice ability, which does slow down enemies if they're grouped up, as listed here. Ice ability slows down enemies, and is a projectile spear. So you use your ice ability. It is a projectile, and it will slow enemies down that are hit by it. and he moves a little bit slower. And for the final ability, I have Lightning. This one has a custom animation and audio cues and anim notifies to make it look more flashy, because this is the most powerful ability in the game. So it works best if you're surrounded by a group of zombies, like this, for example. So if you were standing, you fall down into their pit, use your lightning ability, and it'll kill them within a reasonable AoE around the player. Oh, speaking of which, this ammo is a drop, so I have part of my other tasks is a loot drop system, which I don't see listed here. Must be because somebody else was the one that tasked it to me, but I was basically tasked with doing a loot drop, but it was assigned to me originally. Strange, but the loot drops. So I was in charge of the loot drop system. They were supposed to drop health with a 15% chance and an ammo pack with a 50% chance as well. And for the enemy AI, so you saw the main zombies in the game. They have their own animations. They have their own meshes, rigs. These were the things, the assets that we had imported. And I'm going to show you the tank enemies right now. So these are the tanks. They move slower, but they hit harder. And just to show how much damage they do, I'll stand right here real quick. And they take about 20% of your health in one swing. So it's not a good idea to get hit by those. And also the animation blending was part of my original tasks, and it does work in real time. So you can sprint faster forwards and get some distance, but running backwards, you do not move as quickly, just like in real life. And before we teleport to the next level, that was just a demonstration of the assets. So they do have their own swings, their own runs. And for the sound effects, I did go with more of the conventional ones for the different ones, like the lightning, the crackling, and those are already implemented into the abilities. I'm trying to think what the last few things was. Oh, there's the loot drop system right there. So make sure the enemies drop things when their health is 0. Give them a timer before they disappear. Make at least 3 variables spawn at the enemy, so they have a 15% chance, depending on which one it drops. And 15% was the nominal number, because at 20% it became a little more egregious. Having too many health packs on the ground, too many ammo packs on the ground made it a little too easy, so we lowered it by 5%. It seemed to be right. So we eventually found a balance for that. I believe that does it. So this was majority of what I had to do. This was extremely fun. I enjoyed every second of it, as painful as it was sometimes. It was also a really amazing learning experience. I really enjoyed working with my team. They were great. Never had any dull moments with them, for sure. But all right, thank you for watching. I'm going to turn over to one of my teammates.
Hello, this is Caleb Burak, one of the designers for Team Black Vanguard Hearts, and the lead level designer. And I also worked a lot of my time on UI. So first off, to kind of go over my Jira, I wanted to go over the things I didn't complete. I thought that might be a little more efficient. So first off, the fix spawner and make sufficient base. So as our game kind of progressed, we kind of realized that a spawner wouldn't fit as well as we had initially anticipated, because we had kind of based it first off of rounds when Najee kind of gave us the first MVP. So this is kind of a much older task that I really wanted to kind of get complete, but some of the stuff kind of took priority. And I had also communicated that I might not be able to do this, as well as the create the survival game mode. So the survival game mode would pretty much have been every single level, just a little bit less lighting, a little bit darker. And instead of having place zombies or place undead, you would actually have spawners. So those spawners would act as those zombies in that area. So if that zombie calls for a tank, if it calls for a juvenile, then it's going to be spawning those juveniles in those tanks. But yeah, like I said, this game mode kind of related based specifically off of the spawner base, and I kind of just wasn't going to be able to get around to that with some of the issues that we had going into the end of it. But I definitely did. I feel like made a mark on this project. This last thing was the audio cues. So we do have other option settings within options, but I do not have a working music button. I know, I'm sorry. I know that was a really big thing that was supposed to be in the game, really big thing that's supposed to be in most of the games. But after doing the project for the past weekend, whatever, we really shifted focus to the other things that we had wanted in the game that was much more serving to the gameplay. And because we didn't do this, I also did change a lot of the sounds actually within the blueprints or the sound waves or sound cues. So to try to kind of help balance the audio. This last task right here is pretty much just a balancing task. I did get a little confused when I initially made this, but you had kind of clarified that the calling would be something that I was looking for. Again, it kind of didn't get worked around, but after I had resolved this issue right here, adjusting the performance materials, such as like reflective, emissive stuff, after I reduced that, the game ran so much better. Our newest build runs really, really well. And that's something we're proud of. So that's it so far. So for those unfinished tasks, as well as this fix new area found collision, this is going to pretty much be a collision that the player would hit, and then it tells them that they're in a new area, that they like there might be like a stronger enemy in the area, so that might be like the first introduction of the tank or the first introduction of the spitter. Try to create that narrative flow, as well as fixing the checkpoints. So for our level, for our game, we had several checkpoints that was also going to work differently. They all respawn the player once the player dies and they have already achieved that checkpoint. However, I was going to make a level specific checkpoint for each iteration of our level. So that would be the lighting facility, which is the VDH facility now, the fire facility. The fire cave, which is the construct cave, and then the ice level, which is the site ward level. I have 24 tasks done, 2 in progress, and then 6 to do. So I'm just going to switch this back off so I can try to go over the main stuff. So this is the build right here. I already have it in my folder. So I'll close out Pro first real quick. Well, actually, I'll just open that from here and then close out first. Second. Oh no. This was really, really common between our levels to try to show that each level is connected to the next. And the one before that, I pretty much basically made a room door, which I'm not sure why I did it. Just let me open that. Okay, I made a room door for each of these levels. So this is a complete tutorial level, but this is pretty much what that room kind of looks like. I can show you another level. So that is what I was talking about. For this level, I helped to transform the cave from what it was looking like this, with just the constructs and everything. So this was the most recent update. That was the earlier update that I had done. And I can show you what it needs to give more attention to detail to what was. So for example, in this one, this is sector 1. I know for a fact that sector 1 has this thing right here that kind of displays, okay, this is this one. In addition to that, I also created this huge line of wires that connects to each construct and its platform at the bottom, and then connects to that main door, which kind of shows that, if you destroy the constructs, you actually open that door because they're all synced up. But you can actually see the line going from the top, going off to the right, and then it goes down the wall and goes to that construct.
What's going on here?
For each room. So this is pretty much C1.
It looks like they were doing human experimentation here, and they were taking people from the village to experiment. One of them seems to have escaped. The rest, well, that's better left to history.
Over here is the you can actually see that those are zombies in there. So they're pulling zombies from the village, which is the first level. And so this is a huge mutated zombie, as you can see. Looks a little messed up. And then as you continue along, I actually started to add signs. So these signs not only tell you where you currently are in the level, but also let you know where you may be heading to. So this zombie so this would basically show you that you can get to the computer lab. This one would lead you to the energy cave the fastest way, and then this one will also lead you to something. And this is my reference image that I took some inspiration from the actual hospital. I wanted to do this line, but it kind of just fell back, and I actually ended up including a line on the top part to actually show where exactly the place left it up. The arrow, I mean. For the second part, fix the landscape object in the construct caves. So this is pretty much for the player to stand up on the ground. And I removed that and also added this landscape, which actually looks a lot better, and also kind of goes with the flow and the idea of it. Because it used to be a patch of grass pretty much like one under each construct. So yeah, I'll continue on with the task. So this is more feedback when running to the player, so you can actually tell. Let me just turn up the volume real quick. So for instance, that was the player dying. That was one of my tasks. But we have more sounds. You can hear them growling up. So when they get alerted, they have more feedback. And then that was a sound for it dying just now. It was like, yeah. Sorry, it's a little hard because the sound might sound the same. Hope you heard those. That tank was trying to chase me around. This task pretty much covered the level objectives as well as what you saw in the past gameplay. The level objectives, the how to play, actually has like an updated key. So if you hover over it, it appears like with the keys. So this is RF, this is to reload, this is to talk to our NPC. Q and E is to use these abilities. For the rest of this, it's just more communication, basically trying to tell the player how to play the game. So such as assault and a shotgun and press hold. The quicking game, if you press it here, that actually allows you to quit. So if you choose whether or not, I'll show you. So this HUD in the top left corner, it is updated, but it also is still similar because this is the training level. But I moved the position as well as it being a little bit more versatile for the number of orbs for each level. Yeah. For example, for the cave level's main objective is to destroy the constructs. So instead of showing or having the number of orbs up there, it shows that there's 0 orbs collected for that level. I added a sound that plays when the player dies and gets respawned, as well as sound played when the player gets below 20% health. We had actually decided not to do this, but to rather pull up a widget that shows the player like a jump scare and lets the player restart, and then a sound effect for losing health, as well as picking up health and losing health to 20%, and then respawn, and then going back to dying pretty much 3 times. And then so there actually isn't a hard. This was pretty much the UI tutorial that I ended up setting up. This is a pop-up UI, and this is the volume, and then this is the component widget that I had already shown in how to play. That actually shows the visuals of the abilities. So this is visual, and then 2 auditory sounds. And yeah, it also gives you a verbal description. And when you pick it up, it does like a ETJ dial tone. That's what it sounds like to you. Damaged.
Or do you find a way to use it?
A little funny. I'm going to show you 20% next. When the player dies, they get respawn at a checkpoint. And so because this level doesn't have a checkpoint, we actually show it actually respawns at the player start. So wherever the player spawned in from, that will pretty much be the checkpoint, the last checkpoint. Still correctly works though. And then this was the blue screen that pops up, the jump scare. So 20% die and then jump scare after 3 reps. So I'll get hit one more time. So I set up this level so I can actually practice these So that's what it looks like. And so after they hit me just now, it just said you are low health. The sound for dying, and then being respawned at the checkpoint, and the cut sound for being respawned at the checkpoint as well. You are low health. Again, the low health. Respawn. You are low health. That's that dying animation. And then you're able to restart the level. So this is pretty much the transition times between our levels. I had added in to each transition between the levels that actually shows the time and as well as the location. So I'll show you that on the quick flow I can run through. And I'll go through this story. And this is the box collision for the concept B. So 2:05 a.m. eastbound descending the mountain. So trigger right here. 5:17 a.m. northbound the mountain. BV planning for Sidhu. And then I'm going to go ahead and updated this background, so you actually have to press through to actually go past it. And it also has a flashing text as well. The level select is updated. I have pictures of every level in my interpretation of them. So it has a color mode and then it's transitioning to black and white. Kind of show that, it gets a little bleak as you play along. This is the description. Updated description with different background. Updated how to play with different background. Logic that's set up. Options. There wasn't much of an update on options. My apologies for that. But the credits. And so after this, I'll show off our last task. I'm sorry, my last task, which is pretty much the ABC. That's all I updated on my level first. It's a little bit of a cut for that part. So I can make it back over to the ABC.
Navigate to the watchtower so you can see into the village.
So this is the key. We had smaller texture issues that would cause it to not appear. Basically, the key I just grabbed was from also Purchase House, which is the narrative that is connected to our NPC standing here. So this is basically supposed to be an old man. I helped Sam set up some of the lines and everything. So you saw that last slide. King Office Purge. And that is, I believe, my final task. Again, thank you for listening and watching. This is just to show you real quick. Develop Old Man Porter's voice lines and text. This did not get approved, but this is still something I have Sam out for. Definitely way more than 30 minutes. Just to double show you that I am clear. This is 24 tasks complete, 2 in progress, and then 6 in to do. Again, this was Kevin Durant. Thank you for listening to me. Appreciate it.
Hello, this is Sam from Black Vanguard Hearts, and I'm going to be showing what I've been working on this month. Yeah, so out of the tasks I had to complete, I actually completed 34. And out of the tasks I didn't complete, I didn't complete 13 tasks. I also didn't mention that some of the tasks I did complete actually were related to the enemy that ended up not getting added to the game, so I won't be able to show them. So that's why I didn't mention them. I didn't think they were relevant. But yeah, the sniper enemy was shooting at the player. He used to engage and disengage the player, and they were within range. Yeah, those are tasks that I was able to complete. However, the enemy got removed from the game, so I couldn't show it. What worked and what didn't work, and why I had to cut the things that I had to cut. So we're gonna start in level 1, where I can show the very first task that I completed, which is very noticeable. As you can see, immediately into the game, first things we notice are that there is music playing, which was one of my tasks, and the character has the animations from the new character. It's one of the other tasks that I had to do. He can pick up health, he can also take damage from enemies. These are all tasks in my Jira that I'm going to show right now. If we go over here, we've got this is integrate the character into the game. This is the task that I was talking about, the new character. Basically, we were working with an old character at the beginning. This one is one that Brandon did relatively far back, and we finally implemented it into the game. It created some bugs after that. For example, it wouldn't be able to collect the health, and it wouldn't activate, or it wouldn't collect the orbs. So there we go. As you can see in the game, he can collect the health now. So let's move on to another one of my tasks.
Orbs you find along the way can be used to open doors.
As you can see, that voice line right there was another one of my tasks. I have introduced voice lines around the levels that the player can hear to be directed to go to certain places, as well as provide some lore and context about situations. And I will go into the next level and show my Jira. Alright, if we go to Jira, we can see the volumes here. They all had subtasks that I have actually completed as well. I also wrote the voice lines for this, and yep, they work as intended now. Now to show another one of my tasks. As you can see, the player now draws aggro from the enemies. That was a problem where he couldn't do it because it was the new player and it was not doing what it was supposed to do because the enemies were targeted towards the other player. Alright, so let's see. The bug fixing of the player not drawing aggro, I will be demonstrating it here. Basically, what happens is when the player shoots at the enemies, they will now be alerted and come towards me.
Careful. You're headed towards a treacherous area. This village used to be one of our last areas of study, according to the intel.
As you can see, that zombie over
Navigate
there in
to
the
the
back,
watchtower so you can see into the village.
those two zombies are not alerted, so if I shoot at them, now they are alerted to me, and they will come and attack me. That is another one of my tasks, and as you can see, it is working as expected. I will use this opportunity that there is an enemy in the in my area in the screen, and I will be showcasing one of the bugs that I fixed. Player won't respawn after dying, so we're gonna come up to this enemy, we're gonna have him kill him, and it's gonna show us how the player responds now.
You are the one health.
And as you see, we have respawned in the checkpoint. So yeah, that's another task I have. Another one of the things that I implemented was, as you can see, that guy over there, he's an NPC. We can go up to him and start a conversation with him. He will tell us a little bit about the lore of the area. And we have put an emitter so that it sounds like he's sneezing so that the player can find him. So if we go into my tasks, this is the interactable NPC I've been working on. And yeah, so another thing that I had to work on was bug fix the ice spear and the lightning, and I'm about to go into some combat so that I can show those things. After that, we're gonna move on to me talking about the things that I couldn't do and why.
I can see on the scanner the gate to the lab is straight ahead.
So we have the ice equipped. As you can see, it is colliding with the enemies. I need to kill a few of them to get some mana.
You are the one health.
Okay, so now to show the lightning ability. It has been reworked. My teammate actually worked on fixing it or making it different, but yeah, now it actually impacts the. That's what happens when we cast it. It actually affects the enemies. So another one of the bugs used to be that the spitter enemies, these guys right here, they used to actually take damage while attacking, and we can see that that's not happening anymore. Their spit also didn't used to go off sometimes. It depends on the location where they shoot, but now it goes off 100% of the time when you walk on top of it. So, yeah, let me proceed to kill these guys, and we will go to. And we're gonna move on to the tasks on the Jira now, so I can demonstrate those things. So, as you can see, bug fix, ice spear, it wasn't impacting the enemies, and that's why it wasn't slowing them. Lightning also couldn't collide sometimes. And if we go down a little bit, gas enemies took random damage, and the gas zombie had some issues. Um, yeah, and the projectiles wouldn't go off 100% of the time. Sometimes it would impact us and it wouldn't do any damage. So now moving on to the things I couldn't do. Let's go in order since they're not in the game, so I don't need to show them. So this is actually part of a new enemy I was making. I was making a sniper enemy that took a lot of my time. We had to make a new behavioral tree for it because the behavior tree that we had for the old enemy wasn't applicable to this one since it was a ranged enemy. I had to end up scrapping it because of not enough time. However, it was almost functional. It used to shoot at me and it used to shoot at me and chase me, but it didn't run away from me. And like I said, we ended up scrapping it because it wasn't gonna be. We weren't gonna implement it because of time. This was also gonna be like his BTT was also gonna be used in the gas enemy. That didn't happen. Um, but yeah, so now we still use the normal attack for the gas enemy. This one would have been a lot better because since it's ranged, it actually accounts for like the distance where the player is in, and it would move away if the player wasn't within the range or was too close after he reloaded. Here it is, the sniper robot and the BTT for the spitter. This is what I was talking about. Um, some of the other things I couldn't get to. The timer wasn't pausing, but that was due to target focusing on different things because of short amount of times for the class. I wasn't able to get to it, and the health widget didn't display properly. That was supposed to basically some enemies would take damage and it wouldn't update the health. But when I came to actually check on the game, it looked like it was fine. So I just kept it there and didn't update it because it was already working. Uh, but yeah, those are. Let me see if I missed any. Nope, those are all the tasks I couldn't complete. And yeah, as you can see, also just most of my tasks I've actually put them as subtasks of things that I had to do. So for example, interactable NPC. This would be one of the tasks. Uh, and if we come over here, the subtasks I kind of did them as like steps to complete the main tasks. So these are the things that I had to do to get the interactable NPC working as expected. Anyways, I'm gonna let my next teammate go, and thank you.
Hello, my name is Najee Nottingham, and I'll be going over my review sprint 1. Stream Perforce is our build's location. Here is location for the build I have extracted. We go into it. Here is our game. So our first task today is the elemental mana. This is when we use the fire, ice, and lightning abilities. This will be 2 days and 3 hours to do. But some things had changed for the mana regeneration and the ability cooldown. We just have the UI for 3 bars, the mana depletion, we have that. We tested out the bugging and we have visual audio. Let me demonstrate this. So, first is fire, ice, and lightning. And for, as I mentioned before, how it all changed, which you will see. So when I kill this zombie here, its mana will then be restored. See that the player gains some mana. Next up the task is the adjust lightning ability scale for improved visibility, which you have saw me use the lightning ability. Place assets into the lightning level of scientific cave facilities, specifically in sections A, B, and C, and along the crossing paths connecting these sections.
the ceiling man, the floor, sides, power floor, power cell walls, which you will see in one of these sections here.
The backup security strip can cut the power. Stay away from the fences. Those blazes make massive things trying to destroy any threat in the area.
I go ahead and collect this orb. Go into this room here. You will see some assets, the pipes,
Even after the lab fell,
research lab, the walls, the floor piece. Next of our task, we have the place puzzle answers away from the puzzle door at lightning strike level. The completion criteria is each puzzle door has an answer position separate away from the lightning level. Within the level, all answers are placed at a reasonable distance but remain visible and accessible to players. Testing confirms clear markers and clues. So if I go in, you saw as we walk by our first puzzle, which was AXB. So here's a door here, A, X, and then B. The door opens up. Next of our tasks is an update in the level lightning and puzzle answer placement in lightning strike level. This is the direct light, emissive lightning, and direct lightning. The completion criteria for this one is the end lightning areas have district lightning moods, lightning types, puzzle answers away from the doors. These are the sections where I have reduced the lighting and have the puzzle answer keys away from the door. But you will see, lighting has changed. Here is also another code path that will lead straight to another puzzle in my level, which you will get to see. Next of our task is the Trial of Storm Pathing. Trial of Storm Pathing. This is where I have made out the map level, how the players going to start, where the players are going to go, collecting the orbs, finding and solving the puzzles, escaping the spinning blades, fighting off the Captain Tank, the main zombie, the zombie spitter, and the zombie juvenile, the child one. Play navigates through the map, more puzzle doors, enemies to fight, and reach straight to the end. It's my level. You died. But if I still proceed on, you're going to see more of my level. Here. Door opens up. We get through. The main zombies you see here. So the tanks, zombie spitters, and the juvenile ones. As we progress more, see more of my level. I have more puzzle doors and lightning strike levels, which I have done, as you were seeing before. I have more puzzle doors, appearances, interactive elements, individual audios, which you heard the audio sounds for the pressure plates as they are being used. So as I proceed on, you saw the pressure plates being used. There's the door. Balance and reduce checkpoints and levels. This is where I have reduced the checkpoints in my level. I am shrinking down to at least 3. You saw 2. The last one is at the end, which I will get to. Documentation, so I document this out, and this is also for everyone else's level that I have reduced. There's a task here that supports that, which is to reduce checkpoints. So in Fireball level has only 1. The ice facility has only 2. And in the orb level has only 3. I played my game again. I'm gonna go through. You see here, more puzzle doors. Oops, sorry. Next of our task is adding unique background music for levels, which you just heard. And then that is all of my tasks that I have worked on. But I did want to show you this one last thing, which was the last checkpoint that I have in my level, which is here.
This is your last stand. You're almost out of here.
And that was my last checkpoint that I have in my level. Thank you for watching.